All right, we got a 2003 Toyota Tacoma, sorry about that, actually a Toyota Sequoia, whatever they call it, you get my point. So, long story short, we're doing the front as well as the back brakes and rotors. Parts Geek is actually a really good place to get your parts. This is actually, I think it was about 114 bucks out the door. Not a bad price whatsoever. So, when it comes to this, as we know, we got to jack up the vehicle, we got to put jack stands, make sure that we're safe, right? Now, when it comes to these brakes, they're a little bit different, but not too bad. So, you have these pins right here. Now, that pin goes through here. That one, where it's curved at, that is a part that you're going to have to pull out. You could easily do that with a flathead screwdriver. You may have to knock these out. Those are right here, okay? They go all the way across. Now there's a top one and a bottom one. This detent spring, this sits across the brakes and it sits in, just like so. So you're going to have to be able to squeeze this back in once you get your brakes back on. Very, very easy process. Now, this 12mm bolt, this is for your brake line. Your brake line has a bolt that goes right there that holds on to it. Now also, there is a, come on catch, there you go. There's also another brake sensor that goes right here. It's connected as well. You're gonna have to release this as well, and then release this one up here, so that when you take your brakes off, you don't actually break anything, because this brake line right here, you have a 17mm bolt right here. You're gonna have to use a long bolt, 17 long boy. That way you can bypass hitting. You see how that sits right on it. So I would definitely recommend getting a deep well. So far, so good. I got the brake pads out now. I'll tell you a little trick with these, are actually pretty easy to deal with. You're going to take 2 screwdrivers, and when you take these brakes, you're going to go like this and push them with 2 of them, one on the top, one on the bottom, and that'll push this brake pad, this cylinder, back, and then you're going to do the same thing right here. Okay. That's going to get you to slide your brakes out. The brakes are going to slide out from the back. Alright, I'll be back. Alright, so once you get your brake rotor off, this is an old rotor. It's been on there for a long time. So it's a good thing to get it changed. Your new rotor is going to come. Now, if you're doing the front and the back at the same time, you may confuse yourself on which ones go on where, front, back. So let me just show you real quick. See how much meat you have right here? It's a lot of meat. On your back rotors, you don't have that much meat. It's not a lot at all. It's a shorter distance. Reason being is you use only about 30% of your brakes for the back tire. So 70% of your brakes are going to go for the front. That's why they're a lot larger. It's a heavy vehicle, stopping power. So when it comes down to doing this, as you see, I just tucked the brakes back here. I took that off. I took your sensor out as well. Only issue you may come across is that 17. Those 2 17s, I just use a breaker bar. They haven't been taken off in a long time. So if you don't have that issue, great. If you do, I would suggest a breaker bar. I'll be back. And also you're going to want to WD-40 or brake cleaner that before, because it has an oil on it that if you put it on with your brakes, it'll just cause problems. You gotta wipe it off before. So I got a rag, some WD-40. I'm gonna clean it off. I'll be back. One more thing with your brakes. See this little piece of metal right here? That's gonna go on your outer side. So when your brake's on there, that sits like that. Okay, sorry about that. So that's gonna sit like that on your outer side. Now if you grab the wrong one, if you don't grab this one where that little piece is on the bottom, it's gonna mess you all up. You have to retake everything else off. So always match up. See how this one is set just like this, but it's sitting upward. It's not how it's supposed to go. It's got to sit on the bottom. That's how you know this is for the driver's side. And then this is your other pad. It's just a pad. So these are for your driver's side. The other one is going to go on the opposite side. Okay? And now that we have the new rotor on, we have the brakes back on. Again, this is going to be your setup. You have this detent pin. So when you're taking it off, you're going to take this little pin, pull it out, knock this out. You're going to do the same down here. Then afterwards, you're going to pull this out of the brake and pull that out of the brake, pull this off. So when you're putting it back on, it's just a reverse of that. So you're going to put this in first, you're going to push it in there, you're going to line it up with this, line it up so that way these go inside. And then you're going to put your pins back in, put your pin back in down here, do the same thing down there. Your 17mm bolts, torque those two down. You're going to put this back on. You're going to take your sensor, put it back in, and that's it. You're going to do the same thing on that side. I won't be showing that side because it's the same exact thing, but for the back, it's going to be a little bit different, so I'm going to show you that. I'll be back. Rear brakes, very, very simple. Same concept as a regular brake system. I just pushed it back here. You got to watch out for this wire. That wire right here, it's a pain in the ass. So I just set this back here. Now you have 17mm bolts here, and then right here and right here is another 17mm bolt. So you take them off. That's gonna let this come out, so that way you can take your rotor off. Okay, I'll be back. Like I said, simple back brakes, very, very easy. I will tell you, when you go to Parts Geek, and if you get this company, TRQ, they're pretty cool. They actually provide you with all the new pins, as well as grease for your bolts that go right here. When you put these new pins in, they're kind of tight. So I would suggest putting in your top side first and then swing the bottom in. It acted really weird, but long story short, it's on. The 17mm bolts, torque these down back here. I'm gonna put the brake back on, put the tire back on, shoot over to the other side. So that's really it. I'm going to be doing this for a little bit while, so that way I can get the other side. But yeah, that's what it is. Like, question, comment, subscribe, whatever you like to do, man. It's completely up to you. I appreciate your business, and you guys have a great day.